We're about to design the persona icons here in Becoming a People-Driven Designer. And let's talk a bit about our activity to determine who the people are that we are designing for. We're going to use a persona generator that I designed to develop a proto-persona, a made-up person that is going to drive your design. What you create for this project will be 3 icons that represent this person, that show aspects of the person in a way that stylistically is consistent, so they look the same and they have the same visual feel, and then also represent 3 unique characteristics of that person. So you're going to get a made-up person, and you have to make 3 icons that feel like things that person would be into. Okay, so let's dig in first. I'm going to zip over here to Chrome and you'll see our class. And this week when we met was called Meeting People. And you'll see that we've got a few steps before we get to the final outcome, which is called Persona Icons. If I go into that Persona Icons assignment, you'll see some details about what will be expected. But essentially, 3 unique icons that you'll be turning in that are fully styled that match that person. So first you need to develop a person, right? We got to come up with who our proto-persona will be. I'm going to zip over into our class meeting assignment, which is called Meeting People. And you'll see in parameters, there are 3 steps. We did these steps in class, and that's what I'm catching you up on now. So when we were in class for the day that you missed, we went through these steps all together that same day. So let's step through those together. First off, let's zip to, saying that a lot, zip. Who says that? Anyway, let's head over to the persona generator first. You're going to first click on that link and it will take you to persona generator. Here, the persona generator will, it shows a person that is randomly generated. If you hit refresh, this person will be auto-generated again. You'll get all new aspects. So for your first step, save this persona. Whomever this person is with all these aspects, save this. So you can do that a few ways. You can write them down. You can print the page and then save it as a PDF. You can copy and paste, whatever works best for you. But this is your person. So do not refresh this page because it will wipe out all of these details. So you'll see I've got a person here, 9 years old, New York, New York. I'm in 2019, only child, getting one of their habits are giving hugs. They feel victimized as their self-concept, though their worldview, the view of the world is that things will always get better. So these are unique aspects of this person that make them up. They are parts of the person that develop their personality. So I want you to capture all of these, and then we're going to use this content for our next step when we do what's called connection mapping. So now you've got this persona. You've got a made up person. Let's head back over to our assignment. That's where we'll go back to our meeting. And you'll see there's a connection mapping link to a Miro board. Miro is an online tool that we can use and work together, and it's pretty easy to use. So we'll do our activity here in Miro. I will switch over to Miro now, and you'll see our board here. So there's our board. You'll probably see lots of completed boards already in this assignment, but you'll notice that there is a connection map starter and then also a connection map example. Let's look at that example. So notice in this example, we have kind of like a pool table. We have corner pockets on left and right, and we have the side pockets top and bottom. So here in this Miro board, I want you to fill in 6 aspects that were from your persona. So that may mean that you have the person is from New York, New York, or you have a person who is in 1965, other details like that. So I want you to fill those into these areas here, into these corners. Here's an example. This is a woman who's 25, 1965, topiary, Madison, Wisconsin, lots of disposable income, values protecting the environment. So these are aspects of a person that you need to take your persona and stick those into these these 6 different areas. So go ahead and place those in to Miro. To do that, you'll grab the starter. You can highlight and copy that and then paste it somewhere and do your work there. I recommend putting a frame around this with your name so I can evaluate your work. And you'll click on the carrots over here to the left, go to frame right there, and then custom size is fine, and draw a box or drag that one around your connection map. Now you can actually name it whatever you want, put your name on it, and now your work is yours and allows me to see your work. So for our first step in my example, we have a connection map with these 6 different aspects. So for stage 2, you'll add description words. So here, a 25-year-old female, this example, they wrote 5 things. Life changes happen at this age. They value beauty. They're independent and confident. An interest was topiary, so that's very luxurious. It's an evergreen. There's an interest in botany. Lots of disposable income. So this individual wanted high quality. They shop for fun. They live lavishly. So see how each of our aspects, our 6, have now turned into 5 descriptive words that describe that aspect. By taking this step, we can get a little more detail about our persona. So 1965, hippie culture, women's rights, civil rights. This person is also from Madison, Wisconsin, which is cold and snowy. It's the capital. And there are a lot of progressive protests there and politically liberal. So now that we've got a connection map that have these details, we can start to find connections and try to find what to design for this person, what our icons should be. So for your work for this assignment, you're going to create your connection map and you're going to put 5 different words for each of these aspects that describe them. So go ahead and do that. And stick those aspect words that describe your main aspects. And then we'll move on to the next stage. And I'll show you in this example, this is where connections happen. Here, for this example, progressive advances in 1965, civil rights, women's rights, these were all happening at that time. Notice how all these lines connect to progressive protests in Madison, Wisconsin. So by that example, we see that this person was at a time of great civil change and growth and protest, and also lived in a place that also supported that same kind of work. So whenever you see a lot of lines connecting, that should tell you this is where you should design something. For example, if this person lived in a place that's politically progressive and liberal and all of that, and they were in a time that a lot of civil change, civil rights work was being done, maybe our icon should be something that visualizes protest, raised fist, or a protest banner, or some kind of picket sign or whatever. So in this Miro board, where those connections happen, tell you what kind of icon to make, because you can see there's a lot of connections with this person. So typically in design, we're told, like, let's do brainstorming, let's make it up, it's going to be awesome. But sometimes that's a huge task, just to come up with stuff out of your head. The connection map actually breaks that down into smaller chunks, where you take 6 aspects, and then that turns into descriptive words. And then those descriptive words get connected and it starts to reveal what to design, what icon you should make for this assignment. So for your own connection map, I'll zip back over to the blank one that I copied a second ago. You'll want to make connections between these words. Here's how you'll do that. So in Miro, you can click on any item and grab the line tool. Once you grab the line tool, you can select that line and you'll notice that your boxes will light up with nodes. I can click on one of those nodes and I can drag it to another box and it will hook onto it. Now we've got a connection made. So using the line tool, make those connections. For your own connection map, remember, wherever you have a lot of lines going from one idea to another, where a lot of them are converging, that's probably what you would design. So if I zip over to my example here in this Miro board, it seems like there's a lot of lines between disposable income and luxury and topiary. So maybe I need to design an icon that shows maybe a jewel or something that's about luxury items or spending money. Maybe it's an icon that shows money. That would work. Also, protecting the environment is one. And there's some crosses between connecting the environment and topiary, progressive. There's a little bit between hippie culture and being progressive in valuing the environment. So maybe it suggests I could design an icon that would show like leaves or trees or something about environmentalism. That could be another icon I could make. So based on this connection map, you could come up with 3 different icons that would drive your next steps. So our next step then, when we go back over to Chrome and to our assignment, is a style board. So icons need to have a cohesive style. They all need to feel like they go together. Sometimes that means that they are all using the same kind of color palette, or that they are all very edgy, like all the icons are really grungy and icky, and they've got all that kind of grody-ness to them, but that makes them feel like they belong together. So first you've got to define a style. You got to come up with, how should these look? Your job is to come up with a style that evokes your persona, the person that you were assigned randomly with all these aspects. We're going to do that by creating a style board, and we're going to use Miro again to do it. So if you click on the link in the assignment, it will take you to a style board, Miro board. I'll head over there now, and in this Miro board for style boards, I have an example called Example Style Board. Look at that. Notice how this style board conveys a sense of like formal qualities, like marble, black and white illustrations, architecture, very formal rooms, typography that is serif typefaces, color palette that feels very grounded in being very formal. So every aspect of this style board feels the same. And that's what you should aspire to for this assignment as well. So for your style board, create a board, create a frame in Miro that brings together images that evoke your persona. You can gather these images from the web and just drag them into the board. They will copy to the board. If you look around, you'll see there are a few examples in this style board already. I have several of them here. Here's one that is pretty well put together in its look and feel. All of these images feel very retro. Also, there's one over here. Let's grab another one. Nicely done here. Notice how organized each of these boxes are. Very put together, very much about beauty and style. So your style board should be composed of images and color. You can put typography in there if you like, and you can look at my examples to guide you through this process. You will turn in the style board for this assignment, so make sure that it is as cohesive as possible. Remember, cohesion is every image should have the same feeling. They should have the same coloring or style, look like they're retro or grody or very machined and very perfect and very cold and steel. Every image should feel like one another, which will convey a style, and that'll help you when designing what these icons should be. So let me head back over to our assignment as we bring this home. The next step here is to do sketches as we prepare for the persona icons final turn-in. So do sketches of 3 different icons and check out the assignment in Canvas because I talk about how many there should be per icon because we're going to do a few stages. Developing a lot of sketches, tightening each of those icons, and then the final. The most important step for you now is to define what 3 icons to make and what the style should be. Connection mapping will help you figure out what icons to make. Style board will help you what kind of feeling or look or coloring those icons should have. And of course, the persona are the raw material, the bits that make up the person. One note about that persona generator, it is totally random. So some aspects may not quite align with others. You may get a 9-year-old that drives a muscle car, so ignore the aspects that don't quite align. Okay, I hope that helps get you started. When we talk about persona generation, concept mapping, connection mapping, and style boards. Take care.